The packet includes 4 articles about, people telling their immigration story. And then it also includes a graphic organizer. And the graphic organizer is a chance for students to organize their thoughts about what pushes and pulls immigrants to leave their country and come to the United States. So let me show you what that, first of all, let me show you what the articles are. There's this one that we just read, My Mom is a Brave Woman, and here it is in PDF format. And then there's the Crossing Two Rivers, which is that story that I mentioned, which is from the perspective of the mom bringing her children across the river and then the desert. Then there's a story about somebody seeking a better future. And she talks in this one about the lack of jobs in her home country, which I think is Mexico, if I remember correctly. And she also mentions climate change and how the climate is changing the ability to farm the land, and that a lot of people who made their living off the land can't do so anymore. So that's another push to leave the country. And then this writer talks about coming to the United States for her husband's work and then staying or choosing to stay because they wanted to for their son's education. So a bunch of different reasons why people got pushed and pulled to the United States. Actually, this issue is, probably 30 articles on this topic. So I just picked out 4. But if you were teaching from this and you wanted to kind of really keep going and going and going, there are many more articles where you could ask the same question: what pushed and what pulled this writer? And the student would have to kind of try to read the text to come up with an answer to that question. So those are the 4 articles in the packet. And then there is a graphic organizer. And the graphic organizer is set up so that anybody with the link can view it. So you can't actually take notes in that document because it's view only. So it's another one of those situations where you would need to make a copy of it in Google or download it and then share it with your students. The link that is shared with you on the website is not editable. Okay, it's only viewable. But I did make a special graphic organizer for our workshop today, and that is the one I would like Catalina to put into the chat. This one is special. It's anybody with the link can edit. And so, yes, Catalina, it would be great if you could share the packet and the Google Doc. So please remember, use the Google Doc in the chat, not the one that is shared in the lesson packet, because that one is only viewable and the one in the chat is actually editable. So what I'm hoping we can do, we have quite a lot of people here in our webinar, so this might be a little bit of controlled chaos, but I'm hoping it kind of just works itself out. What I would like you to do now is open the lesson packet, read through, if you want, you could read through all the articles, you can skim through all of them. Everybody here already has read the first one, so you don't need to read that one. But maybe choose one of the second 3 and read it, and then go to the Google Doc and take some notes and try out the activity that I'm proposing you could try with students. I like to do the activities myself and have other people do the activities too, so you can kind of see, how it works out. So I hope everybody is able to click on that link and get to the Google Doc. Let me open it myself and see how many people are in there. Yes, I see lots of people in there, so that's great. Great, awesome. People are showing up. Now, to be able to take notes on the document, somebody will need to write the author, the title, the page number, and hopefully it'll just become clear who's typing what. And if you don't feel like messing around in the Google Doc, that's fine. There's plenty of other people who can do that. Just browse through the stories in the packet Again, that packet is free for anybody to click on. And just read the stories and see, get some more ideas about change agent content. Great. I see people taking notes. You know, in My Mom is a Brave Woman, she was pushed by danger. Mom knew that my sister and I were in danger. And then I love that you incorporated a quote. That's great. That's a really great note-taking skill. So one part of note-taking is just being able to paraphrase, and another part is being able to choose which quotes you want to keep. And then, you know, of course, citing those quotes is going to be an important part of this activity. And you have the information you need to cite the quotes. You have the page number, the author, and the title, and the name of the magazine, maybe somewhere, the change agent. You would need to work with your students on how to do those citations. There's a lot of different stylistic choices about how to do citations. Yeah, great. I see also for the second story that this family was pushed by poverty and lack of resources, especially water, and limited access to education. This is great. This is also really good modeling of note-taking. And then the quote is, I had to walk on mountain roads and across a river to get to school. Yeah, she tells, and again, that level of detail, it just really helps you feel and see and experience what they're sharing. That she doesn't just say, it was hard for me to get to school. She says, I had to walk on mountain roads and across a river. And she even explains, I think, how she had to, like, you know, take off her shoes and socks or something and put everything, you know, and then get across the river and then get dressed again. Thank you all. This is really working out great. I wasn't sure what level of, you know, whenever everybody's working on a Google Doc together, it can be a little messy, but I love what everyone's figuring out. For Better Future, that family was pushed by a lack of jobs, by problems with climate change, making farming more difficult, and they were pulled by economic opportunity in the United States. The Price of the American Dream, the pull was the author's husband had a job in aviation. Yeah. And the push away from the competitive educational system in Korea and preferring the US system. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Like what pushes and what pulls, and just the conceptual work of thinking about what pushes and what pulls you. You can see how, you know, even if the learners are at like a sort of intermediate level of English, there's a real conceptual complexity here, which they're going to be able to, that they're going to be very conversant in. And so you're giving them this opportunity to speak and, you know, dialogue on a complex level, but with vocabulary and, you know, with writings that are accessible. So that's one thing about the change agent. Even when the writing is very, very accessible, it's not simplistic. It's not dumbed down in any way. Great. Wow, people did a great job on these notes. Thank you all so much.